You know, these videos aren't for kids. If you aren't at least 18 or are easily offended, you should probably click off. We here at Dual Wield accept no responsibility for your children. So if you are an adult who sat your kids down to watch our videos, you should be ashamed. Anyway, back to the video.
Are you ready?
Now please welcome the hosts of Dual Wield Wednesday, Vegeta Almighty and Jin Drax. Take it away, guys.
Is it recording? Jesus Christ. Oh. Greetings, my loyal subjects. Here inside the Prince of All Saiyans, Vegeta Almighty, back for more 31 days of Hollow Wield. I forgot I need to turn you down as well. As always, on Dual Wield Wednesdays, I am joined by my illustrious co-host, Jindrax. Say hello to the nice people at home.
Heyo.
Loud. There we go. So I need to see just how much I had to turn you down.
Yeah, I got kind of a booming voice and a better microphone now, so.
Yeah, and we're not doing it in person, so I can't exactly look at the levels directly. So,
right.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. But today this is going to be a pretty jam-packed episode. It all stemmed from me and Jen wanting to have a specific conversation about a Pokemon-related topic, and then it branched off to, well, let's have a episode of the podcast that we can record, and so we have to do something Halloween related, so we'll do something spooky, and then he came up with a good topic, and then I came up with a good topic, so this is going to be part one of the special within a special, Pokemon, the Creepcast. I don't know. I'm working on the word. The two-part Pokemon special of the Halloween edition of the podcast. So,
There you go.
Jen, do you want to start us off with your topic, or do you want to have the conversation first?
Let's have the conversation first.
Okay, so I posed a question based on a Facebook meme of the Family Guy thing, where you guys think you're so much better than me, that thing, talking about HMs, and how it was talking about the good HMs were Surf, Waterfall, and Fly, and it got me thinking, especially around Gen 2, with the exception of maybe, Flash and Whirlpool, the HMs weren't bad moves, actually.
So,
Go ahead.
I agree up to a point
Okay.
with that. So, a lot of the strength of the HMs was from Gen 1 because of the stat split. Like, it wasn't existent yet, so moves, for lack of a better term, some of them hit a little bit harder. But some of them were also a little bit buggy, especially in the first one, like Putt, with its base power of, I believe it was like, what was the base power? Like 50?
Hold up. Pokemon Gen 1 cut. We're going to go to Cerebi. Yes, base power was 50.
Yeah, so you get the base power of 50, and then you get the upgraded version later on, which is essentially you can't use it outside of combat, but it's Slash. For most Pokemon that can learn that. So that's kind of what puts Cut out is...
Cut? Yeah, I forget
it's
about
not
Cut.
bad in the early game, but Slash is better.
Yeah.
With that high crit chance.
I forget about Cut sometimes. Yeah, with Cut...
But,
Cut is, like you said, it's a very good early game move. Which Slash is just, if it can learn Cut, it can learn Slash. So
yeah.
you're better off.
So
Slash.
Slash is better end game, or Night Slash if it's like a dark type Pokemon.
But and I'm talking specifically here, early games like Gen 1 and 2, specifically.
Right, because they did get better. They got used. Actually, you'll see some of them used competitively later on. And that's kind of where my argument comes in, and where my thought comes in on this, because in like Kanto and Johto, they weren't terrible, but the only things that you would see in like competitive play would be fly, surf, maybe strength, not very often strength, because it was just a normal type move.
Yeah, but
and
it was
unless it was a normal Pokemon, nobody was getting stabbed.
That's what I'm saying. That's my point. Is obviously it's not one of those things where it's like the most optimal. You're running an uber like min maxed fucking fully EV IV trained fucking like perfectly specced out Pokemon team of 6.
Oh no, just to point out, there was no EV/IV training in Gens 1 and 2.
Right. But you get my point.
Yeah.
There's no you're not looking for the perfect Pokemon. I'm not saying like the most optimal strategy, but like you could get by through a good portion, because strength is fucking what, 80 base power, I believe.
60 base power. I think they buffed it in later generations, but at the beginning it was like 60 base power. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong.
Let's see. Excuse me. Yeah, it's 80. Let's look at Gen 1. Gen 1, it's 80 base power.
Okay, then they nerfed it later on. It was buff. It was strong before, and then they nerfed it.
Yeah, and Gen 1 and 2, it was 80 base power. Same with Waterfall. Waterfall was actually 80 base power. Now, obviously, nowadays we have Liquidation, so we don't need Waterfall. But
right.
It's just, I don't know. It's just something about just thinking about it. As a kid, I always thought HM moves sucked. I don't know why I thought that, but I always thought HM moves sucked as a kid, with the exception of Surf.
So for me, it was even without playing competitively, like just to get by, the only HMs that I kept on usable Pokemon, not HM slaves, was Fly, Surf. I think I kept Strength on one of my Pokemon, and then Red Gyarados had Waterfall.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But going into like later later generations of Pokemon, it didn't get any better, was the thing. You still got Cut, you got Rock Smash starting in Gen Fire
2.
Red and Leaf Green.
Gen 2.
Yeah, Gen 3.
Yep.
No.
Yes.
I'm looking at the list right now. HM's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
It wasn't
7.
an HM in Gen 2. It was a TM in Gen 2.
Right, but what I'm saying is as an HM, not as a TM. The move was there, yes.
It was still, but I still consider it an HM because it was still a field move. You could still smash rocks in the overworld.
I don't know. I don't count it as an HM.
And it became an
HM.
So therefore, I'm counting it. So.
Well, you can count it all you want. It wasn't an official HM.
Oh, well.
And that's from Pokemon, not from me.
Well, and I guess Headbutt was an overworld move too, so I guess I can see the argument.
Exactly, yeah.
To be made. But yeah, with time, HMs just got worse. Like, absolutely. With timing, like, HMs just became obsolete. Not so much that they became worse, it's just that you gained access to much more viable options for moves.
Right, and that's kind of the problem with it is, you have the base ones that everybody will still use. Like, you'll still, on hyper-competitive teams right now, you will still see people running Surf. You will still see people running Fly. Like, you will still see Waterfall, because they're good base power moves that have stab that can...
Fly is a strange one to me, because...
Fly... Fly is more so for the avoidance. It's less about the damage. It's more so for the avoidance. It's a predicting move. Is the way that it's used in
Yeah.
competitive.
See that, and you know the way my fucking lizard brain works in Pokemon. Attack, 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 attack.
Yeah. Go brrr,
Yeah. It always, when I was a kid, I used Fly a lot more. I used Dig a lot more. Because I thought,
Yeah.
you missed me or whatever. But as I got into my teenage years and a little bit older, I refused to use Fly or Dig or Sky Attack or Solar Beam, anything that takes
Because it
two
was
turns.
2 turn.
It's
Yeah.
I could just do that damage using a slightly less powerful move twice.
So yeah, you became what I call a DPS player. Like you were all about doing the damage per second. You wanted to just hit, 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 hit. And there are some comps that you can go against in the competitive scene where that's fine. Like it's that's what's gonna happen. But then there's other comps that take a little bit more preparedness. They're just in case. They're kind of more funky strategic comps. Um,
Don't get me
but
wrong.
yeah, like fly is used for an evasion thing. Like if you think that they're gonna fucking uber hit you in one move, you evade it for one turn, and then you can do the switch out or what the fuck ever once it hits.
I will say, as a
But
kid, nothing did my heart better than fucking using Fly when and fucking Koga's Wheezing uses the explosion.
oh yeah, dude, like or fly or dig when explosion happens is just fucking beautiful.
Oh yeah.
The problem that you run into with fly that a lot of people run into with fly is if you strike first. Like if your speed's higher and you move first, yes, you can evade the thing, but once you come back down after you do your damage, then they're gonna fucking hit you and they're gonna hit you hard.
Unless you've KO'd
Uh,
them, yeah.
yeah, unless you've KO'd them, which with fly, it's not generally gonna happen.
Right.
Uh,
Which kind of makes me sad to think about that Fly was one of the best flying type moves for a while there, save for Drill Peck, which like only a few Pokemon actually got.
well, fuck, like right now the best flying type move is like Hurricane, if I'm not mistaken, and the only way that that's a guaranteed hit is if it's raining.
Or
So
or if it's against a raid boss. That fucking Charizard. I will never let that go. Anyway, sorry.
no, if it's a raid boss using it, then it's 100%.
That's what I meant. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck you,
But,
Charizard.
yeah.
And 100% confusion rate.
Yeah, fuck that shit. But
That's a good question.
but yeah, it's that's the way to get it to hit. So optimally, you either want to, if you're going to use that flying move Hurricane, you're going to want to either run it in doubles or you're going to fucking want to use it on something that can use Rain Dance or set it up or whatever. Setting it up is probably the least, what's the word I'm looking for? Least preferred way to go. Like most people will run a Pelipper with Hurricane because it has the drizzle ability, so it starts raining as soon as you send it out into the field, and then it just smacks everything around with Hurricane. It's wonderful. But yeah, like I still kind of weep for flying types. Like I feel like they deserve something better, but there's not a whole lot that you can really do with. It's a bird; it can fly.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah. No, you're right. Let me see here. I'm trying to see because it looks like the strongest flying type move as far as like pure base power right now. You're never gonna guess what it actually is.
What?
It's still Sky Attack.
Oh yeah, I'm not surprised.
It's still Sky Attack, which is crazy.
Well, of course, it's the fucking flying version of Hyper Beam.
Still, it's weird.
Or not Hyper Beam. It's the flying version of Solar Beam.
Solar Beam, yeah. The next one on the list is it's tied with Dragon Ascent and Brave Bird.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. But Brave Bird has
Recoil.
recoil, and fucking Dragon Ascent is specifically a Rayquaza.
And it
So
lowers defense
doubt that
and
one.
special defense.
Yeah, so I don't really count that one because that one is a one Pokemon specific move. So
The most viable here is Hurricane. 110 base power, 70% accuracy. Um,
but it's
Major
100%
Fuse.
accurate if it's raining.
Yeah. But we're getting off topic. I want to move into the actual topic of today's video. And Jen, you actually have the floor on this one because this is your topic.
Oh yeah, so this, guys, we're gonna go over my favorite type of Pokemon today because I am a dark little soul, and any and every team that I have ever had and will ever have will always have at least one ghost type Pokemon on my team, and anybody that knows me knows that my favorite ghost type is Gengar. Will always be Gengar. I don't give a fuck what else they bring out. Gengar and I have been together since Gen 1, and we're not going anywhere. Um, and it's been my favorite Pokemon ever since the episode where it haunted Ash and Misty and shit, and it like took Ash with Gastly and Haunter into the spirit realm. It was literally the only ghost Pokemon until Gen 2,
Only
I
Ghost
think.
Line, yeah. Then they added
Yeah.
like one in Miss Travis.
Yeah, in Miss Drevis, and then like that was it. And then
We got the
Gen 3 is when they
Dusclops one.
started getting like a little bit more in like Sableye and Shedinja and Shuppet, Bannet, Duskull, Dusclops, Drifloon, or no, Drifloon was Gen 4.
Chimecho.
Um,
Was it Chimecho Ghost?
no, Chimecho is Steel Psychic.
That's right. Steel Psychic. My bad.
But yeah, and then like Gen 4, 5, like I love what they've done with Ghost type Pokemon now.
Oh yeah.
Actually, one of your favorite Pokemon that you use constantly now is a Fire Ghost type in Cerulege.
Yeah.
Because, Zero go brr.
So I was actually going to say, Gengar used to be my favorite Ghost Pokemon. It is now Ceruledge, just because
Yeah.
the Mega Man reference is strong with this one, and it's just so cool looking. Ceruledge is so fucking cool. That's my
It
ace.
really is.
That became my starter. Like, did you notice that? I put
Yeah.
Jean the Quack in the box, and I just like my team did not have a starter on it. It just had Ceruledge.
Right. And like for me, the only Pokemon that even comes close to Gengar for me is another Ghost type, and it's Annihilate. I
You love Annihilate.
fucking love Annihilate. I love Annihilate so much. I actually like shiny hunted a Mankey for like, what did it take me? Like 3 hours?
It took you a while. I remember you weren't very happy about that.
Yeah, it took me a hot minute.
Several
and,
sandwich
yeah.
resets.
Yeah, several sandwich resets. And I finally got it, and I got it shiny, and I made it perfect, and all that stuff. Like, I love Annihilate. Is one of my favorite. And Skeledirge, too. Like, this generation of Pokemon really, really did well and did right by me with the ghost types. Like,
It
you've
did
got...
well in general. Fuck the haters.
Oh, yeah. Dude, you've got Basculegion, which is the evolved form of Basculin, which is a water ghost type, which looks fucking good. It actually has decent HP and attack stat. It's a little bit slower, but from a competitive standpoint, but it looks fucking cool. Like, if you haven't seen what Basculegion looks like, you should fucking look it up, bro.
It was in. It actually debuted in Legends Arceus.
Really?
Yep. The
Well, still,
evolution-
like,
Did I ever show you the meme I made about the evolution method?
no.
The Ed from Ed and Eddie headbutting the ground. I'm a woodpecker, except with because that was essentially how you evolved it. You bashed its head against other Pokemon, and caused its HP to go down by recoil, and eventually it evolved.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I'm a woodpecker.
I think that's my favorite method of evolution, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm a woodpecker.
And then you get like Skeledirge was great. Cerule Edge is fucking awesome. Personally, I like Armor Edge a little bit better.
Rouge, yeah.
Or Armor Rouge a little bit better. Because actual Fire Mega Man.
Yeah.
But Cerule Edge is fucking dope. I mean, then you get Houndstone, which was broken at the beginning of the fucking game.
I think it's still banned.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is, because that last rites is disgusting.
Yeah.
And then you got Goldango, which is used in like so many raids because of the Steel Ghost typing. Poltergeist, Sinistra, Pecharon. Like, they gave fucking legendary or mythic Pokemon.
We finally got a Ghost Mythic.
Yeah, and then Fluttermane.
Oh, yeah.
We got Fluttermane, which is, the
Paradox. We got representation.
Mischievous.
Yeah, we got representation of the ass.
Oh yeah, it's Ghost Fairy, just like Mimikyu, so it was fucking busted, of course. But then you go back and look at like a lot of the other ghosts that were put in, dude. I remember Chandelure was one of my favorites. It was like one of, if not the first ghost fire type. And I mean, now there's a few ghost fire types, but that one always stuck out. Fucking Aegislash was one of the coolest Pokemon I'd ever seen. That was the one game that one Pokemon that made me want to play Gen 6. Because it's a sword and a shield, bro.
Yeah.
It is literally a possessed sword and shield. It's fucking awesome. Like, even Pumpkaboo is alright in Gourgeist. But yeah, there's so many good ghost-type Pokemon that I absolutely love ghost types.
That's fantastic.
They really are.
So, since we're doing Hollow Wheels, and it could be more than just ghostly things, what are your thoughts on Dark-type Pokemon?
So again, I love the creepy Dark-type Pokemon. I love some of the regional variants that they did with them. I will say I'm not a fan of Persian. That's Persian or Eradicate. They made them have fatter cheeks. Like, that was pretty much it. They turned them a darker shade, and they made their cheeks super fat.
Yeah.
Like, the Rattata and the Meowth were okay. The Meowth I kind of liked because it was a little...
sassy.
Yeah, it's a little sassy. It's prissy. It's like a spoiled kitty.
Yeah.
But Persian's just like... if it had something hiding in its like its face is obscenely round compared to like the rest of its sleek body.
It's done something it's definitely on a watch list. It's done something that violated the Geneva Conventions. It knows it did something, and it wants you to know that it's did something and that it's watching.
Now I will say this: one of my favorite Ghost-type Pokemon actually came out in the 6th gen. And it's not one that I think you would expect.
Give me a hint.
It's a Pika clone.
Morpeko?
It is.
Huh.
Morpeko is one of my favorite Pokemon. I was using it in my Sword and Shield playthrough. And the mechanic where it switches from electric dark to just dark is fucking cool, and it has its own unique move. I forget what it's called. I think it's like Aura Wheel or something like that. Where the type of the move changes depending on whether it's in full belly mode or hangry mode.
Oh yeah.
So that was one of the coolest fucking things that I've seen. Plus, a lot of all of the legendaries from Scarlet and Violet are all dark type, really cool Pokemon. Roaring Moon, the Paradox of Salamence, is Dragon Dark, which is really cool, except for its 4 times weakness to Fairy.
Yeah.
Which fairies are always prevalent, so rip Roaring Moon. And then just Meowscarada is really cool. You had Incineroar, a couple of the starters in some gens were dark type. Um, Even Hisuian Samurott was pretty cool, but uh, yeah, ultimately one of my favorites, one of my absolute favorites from back in the day. Even like as soon as I saw it, I was like, I need that Pokemon. Was Tyranitar.
Yeah.
Like the rock dark type was just, and it
Hit
looked
just
so
some. Oh,
fucking
sorry.
cool. Right.
Right. It's such a good. It's a Godzilla,
Yeah,
basically.
it's Gojira.
So,
Like,
what's your favorite dark of all time?
favorite dark of all time. I'll say this. If we are going specifically off of design, Galarian Moltres.
I'm saying
Like,
like just whatever criteria you want to put it. What would you say is your absolute favorite, based on any and all criteria?
any and all criteria,
Be it
absolute favorite.
design, gameplay, whatever. Like, you can combine all your criteria and rank them that way, or you can pick one particular criteria and use that. Just use whatever. Give me your favorite. Don't think too hard about it, because then it's not genuine. You're gonna second guess yourself.
Yeah, right. So I'm gonna say I have. I'm gonna give you a top five of my
Okay.
favorite dark types because it's
Why don't
very
you
hard for me
save?
to
Why
pick.
don't you save that? Because I'm about to ask you a different question after this. Just
Okay.
first name that comes to the mind off the top of your head. Favorite dark type. Go.
Yeah, I would just say Tyranitar.
Okay. Cool. So that brings me to my favorite dark type Pokemon, and I think you know where I'm gonna go with this. Um, my favorite dark type Pokemon is Umbreon, specifically Shiny Umbreon.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
I love I love Umbreon. Like, it's so good. It's shiny is probably one of the best shinies, if
Oh,
not the best shiny in the
absolutely,
game. Um,
absolutely.
I freaking I love. I can't help it. I love that Pokemon. It's so cool. It's easily my favorite. Now that brings me to my big question.
Okay.
Uh, we're going to go through each type here, and I want a team of 6 using just that type. So, what if you had to pick a team of 6 using only ghost type Pokemon? It could be ghost, fire, ghost, whatever.
Yeah.
But it has to have the ghost typing. What would you make your team of 6? And
All
again,
right.
you can base this off of design alone if you want to.
So we're including legendaries, mythics, all that shit.
Legendaries, mythics, but my rule that I applied to myself is one legend or mythic per team.
Gotcha. All right. So if we're going with those rules easily, Gengar, um, Giratina,
Okay, good choice.
Annihilate,
Good choice.
and then I'm probably gonna go with, I would say, Dragapult,
Okay.
Fluttermane,
Okay.
and let me see. The last one's kind of tricky because there's some really fucking good ones that I love,
I know.
but I'm gonna have to give it to. Fuck. God, this is much harder than I thought it was gonna be. Um, you know what? I'm gonna go with the OG Spiritomb.
Spiritomb. Okay. Okay. That's an acceptable answer. I respect the hell out of that. Um. Okay.
Right.
So, for me, for ghost types, my team of 6 is going to be. This one's going to throw you for a bit of a curveball because I don't think you're going to be able to guess my whole team
I
here.
can't wait.
So obviously you know who the first two are going to be. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Cerule Edge is first, and then there's going to be Gengar.
Of course.
But then you should be able to predict this, but I don't know if you thought about this. My third is going to be Hisuian Typhlosion.
Yeah, I thought about that one, and I was like, man,
I love
there's
its
other ones that I
design.
like.
I love Typhlosion. I love its design. And, it's like one of my favorite Pokemon. Made even cooler. I love Typhlosion. My next
Right.
one is going to be Goldengo, just because the forbidden string cheese is awesome.
The forbidden string
The
cheese.
forbidden surf and string cheese is super awesome, and I love him, and he loves me. Shedinja is on my list just because I love its gimmick. I think
Wow.
it's quirky, it's unique, and I don't know. I just like the little guy. He's kind of cute. He's kind of adorable.
I had one on my team for a little while. It was kind of funny to actually play through the game and just be immortal because nothing,
Yeah,
the AI would never kill him.
yeah, and
Like,
the last one was tough. I will say that, but I ended up settling on design for this one. And when it came to that one, I ended up with Spectrier, Spectrier, the ghost
okay.
horse, just because it's so cool looking. Um, I was gonna go with Marshadow because it's cute, or like Mistrevis because of nostalgia, or Poltergeist or Sinestia because I like matcha. But I ended up just going with Spectrier. Spectrier. I don't know how to
So
pronounce it.
let me ask you this then: why Spectrier instead of Calyrex?
I don't want to consider that one just because. Also, I don't know. I just don't really like Calyrex's design all that much either. I think its big ass head is distracting, and I like the horse by itself. I don't know.
Gotcha. Fair enough. I'm
Um,
just curious
yeah, but
because
moving.
it's got that extra psychic type. So
Yeah, as I said, I went for a purely design standpoint on this one. Moving on to dark types. Let me get your team of 6, including dark types.
all
With
right.
just dark types. Sorry.
So for just dark types,
Mm-hmm.
of course we're gonna have Morpeko,
Mm-hmm.
and we're gonna have Umbreon
Mm-hmm.
and Tyranitar. And then now that we got the obvious ones out of the way,
Yeah.
um, I'm gonna say I like Pangoro, to be honest. He's really cool. I love the fighting dark type, and he's a panda, and just I have a thing for that, so it's kind of awesome. So we're gonna go with him. Uh, you know what? On my playthrough and in doing raids and stuff, this one's gonna be a little unexpected, but I also have a thing for bug types.
Oh, this should be good.
And the fact that this one is a bug dark type,
Mm-hmm.
I love it so much, and it's put in some fucking work on my playthroughs and whatnot. So I'm gonna say low kicks.
Okay, that's actually I can see that actually. I can actually see that of you. That sounds like you. Um, so
So what? That's four.
yeah,
Oh no, that's five. So I need one more.
math is hard. I'm sorry.
Um, the last one's always hard, man.
Yeah, that last one really is a bit of a kicker.
honestly, I'm gonna do this one because this was another one that I shiny hunted for a while, and I'm pretty sure I gave it to you.
Okay.
I'm like 90% sure I gave it to you, and that would be Roaring Moon.
Oh, you did give me that. Yes. I believe you are
That
correct, good sir.
that one is a dope ass Pokemon. Like I love that region or the Paradox version of Southlands. It's cool as fuck. Of
Yeah, that's a good answer. That's a good answer. So, you ready to hear mine?
course,
So, for my dark team, obviously Umbreon.
obviously,
There's going to be a theme here for a lot of these. See if you can catch it. Number 2, obviously Tyranitar.
obviously.
Number 3, Mightyena. Number 4,
Okay,
Zoroark. Just because,
you're
come
going for the doggos.
on. Number 5 is my legendary / mythical Darkrai. I almost picked Hoopa. I almost picked Hoopa simply because of the one that I have that's so
Yeah.
busted. But I like Darkrai better. He's cooler. And then number 6 is a sleeper hit Pokemon. I wish they would do more with him. Absol.
See, I thought you were gonna say Mavistiff.
Nope. Absol. They just introduced Mavistif. So, yeah. They have
Yeah, but
plenty of
like
time.
I saw the like the wolf doggo theme
Yeah,
kind of going on.
Absol. You know, that's the kind of theme going on. I love doggos, and I don't know what it is about Mightyena, but every time I play through Emerald, I have to have one on my team.
Yeah, I feel that. One that I forgot to mention that I think it's because I didn't see it like on the list anywhere for whatever reason, even though it's a fire dark type Pokemon.
Yeah.
Would be like Houndoom. Oh, there it is. Houndoom and Houndour. I
Yeah.
feel terrible that I forgot about Mega Houndoom.
They
And,
just barely missed the list for me. Just barely.
hey,
Just barely.
wait, it is a doggo, so
Yeah.
actually I was waiting for that one too.
Yeah, it just barely missed the list for me, unfortunately. I wanted to put a legendary representation because I did want to put Darkrai. Tyranitar is a no-brainer. And I don't know, I just like Zoroark enough to where it made the list, but Houndoom and Houndour didn't. I think a
Yeah.
lot of that has to do with the fact that I almost never even bother training a Houndour or Houndoom up to a Houndoom other than to level it up and put it in the box for dex completion. Because I have Tyranitar. Or not Tyranitar, Typhlosion. You know,
Makes sense.
I'm always picking Cyndaquil, so I never need a fire type.
Right, and that's kind of where Houndoom, falls short. Is most people that want fire are gonna go for the fire starter.
Yeah, even if you don't want the fire starter and you want fire coverage, there are better choices. Sadly,
Yeah,
and for dark, there's better choices. So he kind of fails at both of his typings at being good at either one of them.
yeah, but he's meant for like just loving, not so much.
Yeah, because he's a good boy. But
Yeah.
that brings me to my last question. If you had to make a team of 6, picking from your list of dark and ghost types, you can pick dark or ghost type as long as they have one of those two typings. Pick a team of 6.
The ghost team,
Just the whole ghost team in general?
the whole ghost team.
Interesting.
I will always go with ghost type Pokemon over anything else.
That's a bit surprising, I'm not going to lie. I thought you were going to make a combination. But mine, if you're interested in hearing it, is... let's see if you can guess what my team of 6 is.
Oh, all right. Remind me your ghost team. 'Cause I was paying attention, but I'm so tired. I have memory problems.
So my
today.
ghost team was Typhlosion, Gengar, Ceruledge, Shedinja, Spectrier, and there was a 6th one. but I don't remember what it was already because I deleted it off my list to kind of keep up with where I'm at. And spoiler alert, it's not on the list. So you got Typhlosion, Gengar, Ceruledge, Shedinja, or Spectra. I forgot his name for a second there.
Yeah, so out of that list, I'm going to say that you're going to keep Typhlosion, Gengar, and damn it, what was the other one? Not Spectrar, not Shedinja.
Ceruledge.
Ceruledge, thank you.
So you got 2 out of 3. This was a very difficult decision. Gengar did not make the list.
How dare you?
I know. I didn't want it to just be my ghost type team.
That's blasphemy.
And I had to pick. I had to make sacrifices. So, you got Ceruledge, and you got Typhlosion. Who else is on the team?
I'm guessing the rest are the dark types.
Okay, so do you remember who that is?
I know you said... obviously, Umbreon's going to be on your
Okay,
team.
so you got my first 3.
You're going to have Umbreon. You're going to have Tyranitar.
Mm-hmm. You got my
I would
first 4.
assume you would run the Mightyena.
You got 5 out of 6 so far.
And then, I would imagine if you want the legendary representation, you're going to run Darkrai.
You got all 6. Good job, brother. That is my team. Ceruledge, Umbreon, Typhlosion, Tyranitar, Darkrai, and Mightyena. That would be
you're
my
more of a dark type user.
Yes and no. Like I said, Gengar, only barely missed the list. Because, 1, I wanted to keep Darkrai in for the legendary representation. 2, I have to pick Ceruledge and Umbreon. They led my 2 team. They're my 2 favorite of their respective lists. I had to pick Typhlosion because that's like my favorite starter of all time. And Tyranitar was just too good. It's just too good of a Pokemon to leave off the list. And I have a soft spot for Mightyena.
Right.
So maybe I do like dark types. I like ghost types too. Like I said, Mightyena, I have an irrational soft spot for Mightyena. I have always loved that Pokemon.
I feel it, and like I said, I have Gengar is that way for me. Like no matter what team, no matter what generation, I will always have a Gengar.
If I was not allowed a legendary, or if I was allowed a 7th, Gengar would be on that team. Like I said, he only barely missed out. Only barely. And that's just because of his poison typing. No, I'm just kidding.
Fucking Gen 1 and their overcrowding of poison types.
No, they're over buffing of psychic types. But with that being said, that is kind of where I want to wrap this episode up. I actually have another topic for next week that I think you will thoroughly enjoy. So tune in next week to see the continuation of this little Pokemon mini-series on the podcast. And make sure to bring a clean pair of underwear so you don't get too frightened. But with all that being said, I'm going to pass it off to my awesome co-host to take us on home. Seacrest out.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, drink your water. Don't be a dick and have a nice day.
Sorry.